broadcast as Speed Weeks continue here at Daytona International Speedway. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to kick off the 5th season of the NNSCRA Pizza Hut X Series. Getting ready for 40 laps of racing here today, and we are getting set for what I think could be one of the most interesting races of the weekend. I say this because before we went on the air here, I was looking at the grid. I was looking at the drivers that are in this series. We've only got 11 rookies in this field, which means that we have 31 drivers that have, at one point or another, taken part in a Pizza Hut X Series season. So a lot of veteran experience, which means that this could be the race, and this could very well be the series, where we're going to see just as good racing as we will up in the top tier series of Hershey's Cup. We had 16 rookies last year. We now have only 11 this year. But I look at some of the names that we have here too. I mean, obviously we've got a lot of drivers that have returned from last season, but you look at drivers that have had some Hershey's Cup Series experience from last year, with J Gilbert, who got Rookie of the Year in the Hershey's Cup Series last season. You've got K Batson down here now in the 22, and also the defending Hershey's Cup Series champion, B Allan, in the 3-car. And this is not her first Pizza Hut X Series start either. If you remember back, I think it was either Season 1 or Season 2 when she actually drove the number 0 Reynolds Wrap Chevrolet to victory lane at Dover. But then you look at drivers that have moved up from being down in the Coors Light Truck Series. You got Sky Commons, who was a 2-time winner last year. H Gallant, a 2-time winner that actually was in the Final Four to compete for the championship last year. A LaPlante, who actually was formerly in the Pizza Hut X Series a couple seasons ago, went down last year to the Trucks, came back up here to the Pizza Hut X Series, and also K Friesen, who was down in the Truck Series 2 seasons ago. And then you look at one particular driver that I'm looking at here, and you know, obviously, I don't like to single out any particular driver, but how about Andrew Gonzalez in this field, that number 64 Traskis Ford Fusion, or Ford Mustang, rather? Andrew Gonzalez took part in NNSCRA Oreo Truck Series Season 1, Race 1. He was in the very first race that took place on this channel, and he is now back in an NNSCRA series, so super cool to have him back. Got some old faces in new places on the front row. Phil Parker, the number 31, driving for Fitzwater Australia Racing, formerly last year was driving for Michael Norman Motorsports. On the flip side, on the outside of row 1, new Michael Norman Motorsports driver Nathan Hudson. Last year, he drove the number 11 for Srigley Motorsports. Let's go down trackside.
Drivers, start your engines.
As we get set to go racing here, and as you can clearly see, we do have a little bit of shade here on the racetrack. The sun with a little bit of cloud cover right now, which means that the track may be a little bit cooler than it was in yesterday's Coors Light Truck Series race, and as a result, we could have some really exciting racing here today. Cooler track conditions usually mean that the tires going to be a little bit cooler, means a little bit more grip, and the car is going to probably do what you want it to do. So these drivers, they'll probably be definitely going 3 wide, several rows deep. I wouldn't suggest forcing the issue 4 wide, but then again, we're going to have to wait and see if the veteran experience that takes up about 3/4 of this field, if that will come to light. And a lot of times, too, when we have our Pizza Hut X Series races at super speedways, they tend to be fuel strategy races. So we'll have to see if, spotters up on the grandstand are moving around, making some deals with some other teams of, hey, we're going to come to pit road this lap. You guys want to come too? Because when you get to those green flag pit stops, it splits the field up, and you want to leave with a group of cars to be able to draft with rather than by yourself if you want to keep yourself up towards the front of the field. Well, this is the 5th race to open up the Pizza Hut X Series season at Daytona. Only one of our previous race winners is in this field here today. From seasons 1 through 3, it was Matthew Dallio, Kyle Lynch, and Madeline Crenshaw all going to victory lane. The defending winner of this race last season, Ying Canario, the only driver in this field here today that will look to be a 2-time winner in the season-opening Daytona race in the Pizza Hut X Series. Kind of ironic that Ying Canario actually is driving the number 45 Chevrolet Camaro out of Kev Shear Racing Tech, the ride that formerly belonged to Jordan Lopez, the guy that actually beat Canario for 5th in the standings last year to be able to move up to the Hershey's Cup Series. But here we go. Phil Parker and Nathan Hudson, a couple of veterans of the series, will lead us down. The first green flag of the season for the Pizza Hut X Series is out. Let's roll. Phil Parker led him into turn 1. He might not lead him out of turn 2. Here comes Alexander Rowe, that 69 Auto Trader Ford Mustang out of Smart Motorsports. He's got a teammate not too far back behind him there, the 19 of Diego Yepez, who actually won the summer Daytona race here 1 year ago, last season. And Alexander Rowe trying to nose ahead out of turn 4, but that outside line gets a much better exit off the corner. Parker's going to battle back. It's going to be a drag race of who's going to lead the first lap, and it will be, wow, that was close. What does the ticker say? Ticker gives it to Parker by a nose. 3 wide behind them, about 3 rows deep. That inside line containing teammates Rowe, Yepez, and then you've got the 27, new driver Mason Wood, moving from Joe Gibbs Racing over to Joanna Atwood Motorsports this year. And then Carson Gum, who had a career year last season, going to victory lane twice. Ooh, Yepez going down on the apron. I'm not sure why he's doing that. He's going to go up and get G Sydnor, and we've got our first caution. I'm not really sure what that was about, why he went down to the apron. He wasn't even forced down there. They're going to drag race back to the line between Rowe and Parker. Parker will get it this time by almost a full car length, but the big one has struck here early in the Pizza Hut X Series race at Daytona, and boy, you know, you look at a lot of wrecks that look like they couldn't have been avoided. That one, I don't understand why the 19 went down on the apron. I mean, it looked like he went down the apron of his own accord, and then he never let off the throttle. He was, just from live looking at it, it did not look like he was forced down there. So that's why I am really confused. I mean, he knows how to race Daytona. He won the summer race here last season. And just like that, a number of drivers are probably going to be out of this race. You're looking at the 0-2 of Eli Bright. There's J Garcia R, the defending winner of this race. He won't be going 2 in a row. J Jefferson's on pit road. A Baranauskas is on pit lane as well. A lot of damage on the 24 of J Sydnor. He's the one that the 19 slid up into originally. If you look through the field here, see who else was involved. I think the one of N Hudson was squeezed up into the wall. Yeah, you can see he's got damage on the Toronto Blue Jays Chevy Camaro, and I don't know where the 19 is at. Did I already pass him? I don't see him. He might already be out of this race. I don't see the 19 car of Diego Yepez, so he may have already retired out of the races. There you see some damage right there as well on Mason Wood, and a little bit of right side damage, it looks like, on N Guenther, making his rookie debut. We had a couple other cars coming to pit lane as well. Hudson is one of them. And that's A Navarro, the 07. Jessica Miles also on pit lane. There's Wyatt Quail and G Sydnor. Looks like just a gas and go for Navarro. Looks like that might have been a regularly scheduled stop. Well, let's see what happened. First caution of the day, and it takes place on lap number 2. I'm in shock that it took us that soon to get a caution, to be perfectly honest, but let's see what happened over in turn 3. Alright, we're starting the replay on the exit of turn 2 just to see if there was any movement or any contact that would have caused the 19 to have to go down to the apron. He's 3 wide on the bottom. That's Sydnor in the middle, Hudson up top side. He's got Mason Wood behind him. Plenty of space between himself and his teammate Alexander Rowe. Now let's watch here. This is about where he starts to make the move down to the bottom of the track. I don't know, was there something wrong with his race car? No, it doesn't really look like he makes any evasive move down there. He just slowly moves down to the apron. And there was no contact between him and the 27. So I don't know what Diego Yepez was doing. That's just so questionable, and I don't know why he would do something like that this early in the race. If you're going to go down there, at least let off the throttle. And there you see there's just nothing Mason Wood can do. When he comes back up, hooks Yepez. There's Hudson up and into the air. Ryan George was involved. I'm seeing the 48 there of Patrick Curtis. Of course, Sydnor involved there as well. And I think we may have had some other drivers get involved. Yeah, there you see, there's Wyatt Quail getting turned around by, I think that was K Langeland. I think they were wrecking further up as well. There you see, bottom of your screen, J Jefferson flies into Ryan George along with J Garcia and Eli Bright. There's A Baranauskas as well as Jefferson's car goes flipping and barrel rolling down the banking of turns 3 and 4. And I think we had a wreck further up too. I thought I saw some more smoke on the exit of turn 4. Maybe not. Oh, 46 blew up. Chloe Ericsson, what happened to her? Did she make contact with somebody there? Oh, she might have gotten into the 4 of Ryan George. Let's watch here. Might not be able to see through the smoke, but let's watch carefully. And, oh, yeah, right there with the whole right front of her Ford Fusion, or Ford Mustang. Boy, I keep saying Fusion. Got into that 4 car. You just see them all come flying in. There's Canario, bottom of your screen. 46 is blown up, and I thought I saw Jessica Miles come to pit road. I don't know how she got involved. She's right there in the middle line, in that 25. Sky Commons behind her, along with Navarro and Friesen. You can see the debris just kicked up into the air there. That's, I think, from the 05 of Jefferson, who we saw barrel rolling. I don't know if Jessica Miles got a piece of the action or not. Same for Navarro. They may have just came down pit road for a regularly scheduled stop. But again, I just really question that move by Diego Yepez. I don't understand, A, why you would go to the apron when you weren't forced there, and B, if you do go to the apron of your own accord, then let off the throttle when you go into the corner. Don't keep your foot in it. There's no way you can be going 180, 190 miles per hour on the apron and keep it down there. It's just not possible at any super speedway. But that's what brought out the caution, and a number of drivers probably not going to be too happy with that 19 when they find out what happened, as he brings out the caution and ends the day early for a number of drivers. Pace car lights are out, getting ready to go back green. It'll be on lap 7 of 40. Still a long ways to go in this one, and it's the end of the road for a number of drivers already, including Chloe Ericsson, Diego Yepez, Ryan George, Patrick Curtis, J Jefferson, A Baranauskas, Eli Bright, and Ying Canario, who was P1 last year, going to finish dead last in this race here today. So it'll be Phil Parker leading us back to green. A number of drivers stayed out. There were only a couple that came to pit road. Angel Navarro, Jessica Miles were a few of them. But Parker will have the lead. Alexander Rowe lines up second. Third is Carson Gum. Fourth place, Charles Jackson. Fifth place is Elijah Gilbert. So Backmarker Motorsports, 3, 4, 5 on this start. You've got Kyle Langeland restarting in 6th. Austin LaPlante up to 7th. 8th place right now is going to be Jake Rogers. 9th, Brooke Allen. And completing your top 10 will be the rookie Heather Gallant. We'll go a little bit further down here. Rob Evans restarts in 11th. 12th place is going to be K Batson. Quentin Moore is 13th. 14th place is Andrew Gonzalez. 15th, Cole Deaver. 16th, Andrew Davis. Kyle Langeland, 17th. 18th is Joshua Hyatt. 19th place is J Garcia. And completing the top 10 is J Sandfer, as the green flag is back in the air. Alexander Rowe and Phil Parker going to renew their rivalry that they had going on in the first 2 laps of this race. Alexander Rowe is going to take the top position back from the 31, and here come the Backmarker Motorsports drivers, the 99, 66, and 78. Drag race down the back straightaway. Boy, these two cannot shake each other, Parker and Rowe. It may end up deciding who's going to align with whichever line as to who's going to win this battle. Elijah Gilbert side by side with Carson Gum. And you got LaPlante side by side with Jackson, and then Kyle Langeland's trying to figure out which way he wants to go. Guess his mind was made up for him. He's going to have to stay high as Brooke Allen makes the move to his inside, and for the moment, Phil Parker is going to hang on to the top position. Phil Parker last year drove for Michael Norman Motorsports in the number 5 car. Only 2 top 5s and 10 top 10s. Still chasing his first career Pizza Hut X Series victory, and looking good here early right now in that number 31 car. Chevy, Ford, Chevy, the top 5 right now. Top 3 currently single file, and for the moment breaking away from that side-by-side battle for 4th between teammates Jackson and Gilbert. And if these 3 start to race each other, it's not going to take very long for them to probably get reeled in from 4th place on back. Let's follow this battle that's going on here for 4th place. Well, Charles Jackson on the high line is going to keep the spot for the moment. Gilbert continuing to try and get the inside line going. Now he falls back into a battle for 5th place with Austin LaPlante, Kyle Langeland, and Brooke Allan. Field's gotten awfully spread out at the moment. There's only a few double-wide formation battles going on back through the top 20. Closest one is that battle right there for 6th between Langeland and LaPlante. Then you got a couple of rookies, Rob Evans and Heather Gallant back there. They're battling, I believe that's for the 10th position. There's the 3 of Brooke Allan. Now, we mentioned that a couple of the former winners that are not in this field included Madeline Crenshaw. Madeline Crenshaw went to victory lane 2 seasons ago, driving that number 3 car. And we know that Brooke Allan, obviously coming off a lot of momentum with her championship season in the Hershey's Cup Series last year. So keep your eyes on that 3 machine during the course of this race. We might actually see Brooke Allan pick up her 2nd career Pizza Hut X Series victory. Jake Rogers now side by side with LaPlante. That's for 8th position. Jake Rogers picked up his first Pizza Hut X Series victory last year when he took the number 16 to victory lane at, I believe it was M&M Super Speedway. And right behind him, you see the McDonald's Chevrolet. That's Austin LaPlante. It's kind of ironic that you've got nose to tail right now, the last 2 drivers to drive the number 16 in the Pizza Hut X Series. Rogers last year. The year before that, it was LaPlante. I can't remember back at season 1 who drove the 16, but I know that for seasons 2, 3, and 4, all 3 of the previous drivers of the 16 car are in this field. James Shelley ended up driving the number 16 back in season 2. I could probably try and look back and see if I could remember who drove the 16 in season 1. Right off the top of my head remember, though. This is really interesting seeing them single file here. I mean, I thought that more than likely with these guys, we'd be seeing them running double wide, 3 wide, but maybe what happened with the 19s scared them a little. And they don't want to run the risk of maybe a second big one. I mean, maybe they feel it's too early. They'll stay single file. They'll wait till they have to make green flag pit stops, and then they'll start racing it up. Yeah, I just went down through the list of the drivers from season 1 of the Pizza Hut X Series, and none of the names jogged my memory as to who drove the 16, so not sure who it was. So I don't know if we've got all 4 of our former drivers of the 16 in this field or not. 3 of the 4 I know for certain. And the 16, obviously, this year is not in the field. None of the cars out of Roush Fenway Racing. So right now you've got a Fitzwater Australia Racing Chevrolet. Oh, slow car there, Jessica Miles that they're catching, and Parker having a little difficulty, and he's not going to be able to get by the 25 very well. He's going to lose the lead as a result. Alexander Rowe's going to move to the top position now. Parker's going to slot into 4th, maybe 5th. And now Elijah Gilbert caught up behind the 25. Same for the 7 of LaPlante. So now Rowe moves to the lead. Gum to 2nd. Teammate Jackson in 3rd. And Parker's now back to 4th with Langeland in 5th. So now to rehash what I was going to say, now we've got a Smart Motorsports Ford out in front. Got a couple of Backmarker Motorsports Chevys 2nd and 3rd, and then a couple of Fitzwater Australia Racing Chevys in 4th and 5th. Phil Parker, man on a mission trying to get back to the front. I think we got another slow car to deal with. That's the 24 of G Sydnor. Boy, Parker's got a strong car. He's able to catch back up to 2nd and 3rd place, and now he's trying to get his teammate Langeland to work with him. They've also got the Ford of Jake Rogers to help push that inside line. Rogers with 2 tires down there on the double yellow line. That's not going to help him be able to create some good speed. Look at Parker trying to split the 24. It's not going to work. Phil Parker having a lot of trouble with the slower traffic. Alexander Rowe's kind of going by these cars like it's a breeze. Jackson now moves into second, and now it's a battle for third between Gum and Parker. As slower traffic is definitely playing some havoc with these race leaders. Trying to remember if Alexander Rowe has a Pizza Hut X Series victory, and I'm wanting to say no. I remember back. Oh, no, he did. Okay, yeah, okay. I ended up having it reversed in my head. I was remembering back to the Season 2 finale at Auto Club, and I thought it was that Alexander Rowe dominated the race and Amaury Stoudemire Jr. ended up winning the race. It was actually flip reversed. It was Amaury Stoudemire Jr. dominated the race and Alexander Rowe went to victory lane. So Rowe is a former winner in the Pizza Hut X Series. He just gave up the lead once again to Phil Parker. That 31 car might be the fastest machine in the field right now. And we now only have about 11 cars, I think, in this lead pack. 11th place, K Batson, I think, is the last driver in this lead group. And you just think back to when we had 3 wide all the way through the field at the first 2 laps of this race. If we had not had the incident with the 19 of Diego Yepez, we probably would still have a really good race on our hands. Now it's kind of like your typical super speedway where they all go single file, and it's not exactly exciting for the fans, as now they're going to make the move on the 27 of Mason Wood, who is damaged and off the pace. Ooh, Charles Jackson almost literally cut the nose off the 32 car to keep the 4th position as he made his way to the inside of the slower car of Mason Wood. And now we're kind of back where we were a few laps ago. Parker out in front, Rowe in second, and Carson Gum in third. Next car that they'll encounter would be the 1 of Nathan Hudson. The closest car teammate to Hudson is 6th place, that's Brooke Allen, and also 8th place Austin LaPlante. So I don't know how much of a hindrance Nathan Hudson's going to try and be here. One thing that Phil Parker is doing, he's leading laps, he's getting bonus points for leading a lap, he's getting a bonus point for probably leading the most laps up to this point. But one thing that's detrimental is, as he's out in front, he's using up a lot more fuel than everyone else behind him. Not having the benefit of running in the draft of somebody else, it's going to probably force him to pit road about a lap sooner than everybody else behind him. Whoa! Brooke Allen nearly got blocked by her own mate, Nathan Hudson, there. Next time by, we'll be halfway through this race. Let's give you a little bit of a full rundown of our field so far. Phil Parker is the leader. Alexander Rowe in second. Right now, third by a nose is Charles Jackson. Fourth is Carson Gum. 5th place is Daniel Olson. I've been calling it Kyle Langeland and been incorrect. Langeland's in the 30. Olson's in the 32. My apologies. Brooke Allen currently runs in 6th. 7th is Austin LaPlante. 8th place, how about Juan Garcia? Great run for him today. 8th place currently is, I'm sorry, 9th place rather, is Elijah Gilbert, and currently completing the top 10 would be Jake Rogers, as he's trying to get around Nathan Hudson. 11th place, that's K Batson. 12th is Heather Gallant. 13th is Rob Evans. 14th place right now is J Sandfer. He's got a big pack back here. 15th is Carter Friesen. 16th right now is Joshua Hyatt. 17th is Andrew Davis. 18th is Sky Commons. 19th, Quentin Moore. 20th place right now would be Kyle Langeland. 21st is, I guess, Cole Deaver. 22nd, Andrew Gonzalez. 23rd place is Mark Davidson. He's all by himself. 24th is, I believe, a lap down. No, where is 24th place? Where are they? There they are. 24th right now, that would be Zach Flickinger. 25th, Angel Navarro. 26th, Wyatt Quayle. 27th, James Shelley. 28th, Matt McIntyre. 29th, that is Nick Guenther. And 30th right now is Alex Gray. And I believe we have 30 cars on the lead lap. 31st, a lap down, Nathan Hudson. Also a lap down in 32nd, Mason Wood. 33rd, Garrett Sydnor. And 34th, Jessica Miles. 34 cars on the track, 30 on the lead lap. As Phil Parker continues to dominate here at Daytona. Next car they'd encounter, Jessica Miles hitting the line now. Phil Parker hitting the line now. So probably about 4 or 5 seconds back from that 25. Right now, Juan Garcia, 9th place, is the last driver you can see in this shot. His teammate Jake Rogers has lost the lead draft. And so if this thing stays green to the end and we end up having that green flag pit stop, these could be the 9 drivers right there in your shot that could decide this win. And none of them have won the season opening Daytona race. And Phil Parker having difficulty again with slower traffic. This time he goes to the outside line, and it'll be Alexander Rowe that has difficulty with the 25. Matter of fact, just about everybody from second on back had some problems with Jessica Miles. So difficult to be a slower machine at a super speedway. You just got to hold your line and let the leaders go where they need to. Carson Gum now into second. Rowe now fell back to third, and I believe Elijah Gilbert and Austin LaPlante just moved into 4th and 5th place. You think about it too, with the fact that we've got the season schedule for all 3 series condensed down. Makes it so much more important to go to victory lane, especially to get those early victories, so that way you can have yourself almost a guaranteed spot in the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. I think it's going to come down between the 31 and the 69. Because whenever Phil Parker gets past, whenever Alexander Rowe gets past, they always are able to battle back. But Alexander Rowe just is not able to pass Phil Parker. Phil Parker's been very easily able to pass Alexander Rowe. So right now, in the battle between those two, it is advantage 31. Now Rowe on the back bumper, though. He might be able to do something here. As Elijah Gilbert, Carson Gum, Austin LaPlante, they want to get up in this battle. Daniel Olson there with Juan Garcia, Brooke Allen, and Charles Jackson. They were all trying to catch back up. You can see there that the top 9 are only separated by about 2 seconds. It's over 9 seconds back to 10th place Jake Rogers. Sounds like another idling engine up ahead. That's going to be the 24 of Sydnor again. So Miles has fallen 2 laps down. Sydnor will probably fall 2 laps down. And my question is, when's this green flag pit stop going to take place? Because the fuel window for the Hershey's Cup Series drivers and the Coors Light Truck Series drivers was about 18 to 22 laps. We have just completed lap 25. We're about to complete lap 26. And we're getting close to the 10 laps to go mark. How much further can these drivers stretch it on fuel? I think the driver that will indicate when the pit stops begin is going to be that 31 of Phil Parker. But he's not coming to pit road this time. Top 4, nose to tail. Right now, in terms of drafting partners, advantage would go to the Backmarker Motorsports drivers, because Gilbert and Gum are both lined up together. And Alexander Rowe's going to have difficulty with the slower car this time. Sydnor in his way, and now he drops back to 4th. Almost got turned off the nose of Austin LaPlante. LaPlante had a big head of steam. Rowe went down to block that momentum, and LaPlante nearly hooked him. So now this will be interesting. It's normally been Alexander Rowe that's been the wingman for the 31. Now you've got 2 teammates lined up 2nd and 3rd with Gilbert and Gum. Let's see if they can do anything against Phil Parker. Carson Gum just moved up the track there, and I think he just scraped the wall through the tri-oval. I don't know what happened with his 99. That slower car just allowed LaPlante, Jackson, Brooke Allen, Juan Garcia, and Daniel Olson to catch back up. So the top 9 are all back together again. And now Alexander Rowe goes back to work to getting back up to 2nd place. He's getting by Carson Gum, and he'll probably keep that momentum going and make a move on Gilbert down here into 3. Here he comes. Boy, the 31 and the 69, when they're back in traffic, they are strong. They know how to use the draft. They know how to use the slingshot. As time by, when they hit the line, there will be 13 laps to go. No, I'm sorry, 12 laps to go. We are yet to see the green flag pit stop. We have seen a caution. Our first caution and only caution up to this point came out on lap 2. Big wreck that took out a total of 8 drivers, including the defending winner of this race, Yin Canario. So we are guaranteed a brand new winner here at Daytona in the Pizza Hut X Series to open up the season. A number of drivers in this group of race cars that are still looking for their first win of their career. Phil Parker is one, Daniel Olson's another, and of course the rookie Juan Garcia making his debut. Carson Gum was a 2-time winner last year, Charles Jackson the same. LaPlante, a former winner, a former playoff driver back in Season 3. Alexander Rowe won the season finale at Auto Club in Season 2. And of course Elijah Gilbert and Brooke Allan, both former winners. Gilbert a former champion of the series, and Brooke Allan a former champion of the Hershey's Cup Series. However, the 3 seems to be losing the draft. It's now become an 8-car pack there with Juan Garcia the caboose on this single-file train. And it will be 10 laps to go when they hit the line this next time by. This is getting very interesting now. Another slow car to deal with. 27 of Mason Wood once again. And there's the first car to peel to pit road. Austin LaPlante in the 7 has dived for pit road. And also on pit road, Alex Gray, Matt McIntyre. So a teammate to the 7 on pit lane. And this is going to start the cycle of green flag pit stops. Wyatt Quayle also on the pit lane. Alexander Rowe again having difficulty with slow traffic. This time Mason Wood. And let's see if maybe there's 3 Backmarker Motorsports cars up here in this top 5. Are they all going to come to pit road together, do you think? And when does the 31 come to pit road? I'd be surprised if they all maybe come to pit lane this lap. Or is someone going to be bold and risk it and stay out an extra lap? Let's see who's going to dive to pit lane. Jackson will be the first one in this group this lap. He's followed by Rowe, Garcia, and then the lap car of Wood. James Shelley is also on pit road. Flickinger, Davidson. Navarro's on pit lane. Andrew Davis, the rookie, just completing his service. There's Gonzalez and Hyatt. Rob Evans. So maybe these drivers that have pitted these 2 earlier laps think maybe the best way they can beat the 31 is with fresh rubber. I mean, they've tried everything else, and nobody's been able to really even get to the back bumper of the 31 car. Another slow car up ahead to deal with. That's the 25 of Miles again. Might not have to deal with her if they're coming to pit lane this time. And Parker is in. Carson Gum's in. Olson's in. Gilbert stays out. And while he's going to have some good track position with staying out, he was really spent a lot of time stuck behind the 25. So whatever really good lap time he was going to hope to lay down by staying out an extra lap, that was kind of hindered right there, courtesy of the 25. There's Nick Guenther just ahead in the 55. I think right now he's on the tail end of the lead lap. Got some dust kicked up there. There's no caution, but I guess someone had 2 tires down in the dirt. We're still green. And probably Gilbert will be coming to pit road this time. I think he is. And I think we have problems for the 09 of Sky Commons. That might have been where the dust was kicked up. I think he was down the apron trying to get out of the way. That looks like that car's out of fuel. Trying to get to pit road on fumes. Tough break there for the rookie out of Smart Motorsports. As we're going to follow the Payday Chevrolet of Elijah Gilbert into his pit stall, but I don't know if he's going to get out ahead of the 31 or not. Let's find Phil Parker. There he is, just now going through turns 3 and 4. And we got to see if Gilbert's going to be able to get off pit road quickly enough. Phil Parker is up to speed. Carson Gum behind him, and then Daniel Olson. They would be 1, 2, 3 if they end up bypassing the 66 of Gilbert. Watching down on the apron, seeing where Gilbert is at. He's just now leaving the pit lane onto the back straightaway. I don't think he's going to get out ahead of Parker. Parker up to speed, going to fly by on the outside line. Carson Gum gets by for second, Olson for third, so that's going to drop Gilbert at least back to fourth place. Right now, fifth and sixth would be Juan Garcia, Austin LaPlante. So now here's an interesting situation. Carson Gum is in the middle of a Fitzwater Australia Racing sandwich. He's got Parker ahead of him, Olson behind him. Parker and Olson both have never won in the Pizza Hut X Series. Both would love to be able to get their first career win. Does Olson try and help play defense for Parker, or does he try going for the win himself? And they're about to catch some cars here that are up to speed. That's Angel Navarro in the 07 and James Shelley in the 71, as well as the 55 of Nick Guenther just now coming back onto the racetrack. It looks like Phil Parker's not going to deal with any of these guys. He's going to go to the inside of them, but that slowed him up just the least little bit. And here comes Carson Gum all over his back bumper looking for the top position. Olson follows as well. That was a weird glitch. Is now Carson Gum on the bottom of the track, and Olson's down there to offer the drafting help. Can Carson Gum be the one to find the chink in Phil Parker's armor? Now Olson moves back up to the top side, leaving Carson Gum all by his lonesome on the bottom. They're starting to catch up to some more traffic up ahead as well. That's Wyatt Quayle, Zach Flickinger, Matt McIntyre, and I believe that's Mark Davidson. So drivers on the tail end of the lead lap. Traffic could play a factor. Look at Juan Garcia now up to fourth place with Elijah Gilbert helping him. And they are double wide ahead of the race leader, Phil Parker. There's going to be nowhere for him to go when he catches these guys. Oh my goodness, he's boxed in. Where's he going to go? And it's 4 laps to go when they hit the stripe. This is going to get really interesting. Traffic is going to play a factor in this win, I think. Parker trying to go low. Olson was there. He's going to try and go for the top position. Daniel Olson using the traffic as a pick. He's got Juan Garcia right behind him. Gilbert, Gum. Here comes LaPlante starting to get in on this action as well. The top 6 in the hunt for this win. They're all trying to make their way by the traffic. Parker trying to go up the middle. Olson trying to use the bottom. They're 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Inside line gets the momentum. Olson to the lead. Garcia to second. Gilbert to third. Garcia now moves up. He's going to try and get the 31 to help him push on the outside line. Can't quite get to the right rear quarter panel as Olson holds on to the spot for the moment. 3 laps to go here at Daytona. Traffic playing a factor. Parker boxed in. Olson leads. Gilbert down low on Garcia for second. Here's Carson Gum side by side for fourth with Phil Parker. Olson now makes the move on Flickinger to try and get by. Elijah Gilbert, he's got his teammate right behind him in Carson Gum. Carson Gum's going to make another line though. He's trying to get some help from LaPlante. Will they go 4 wide? No, they're 3 wide as Carson Gum down on the apron there in the 99. Trying to get back up, he does, he succeeds. Olson trying to block all 3 lanes, low, middle, high. Here's Gilbert taking a peek to the bottom. Olson opened up the door, side by side to the line, 2 laps to go. Gilbert now has LaPlante helping him. Olson's got Flickinger, the lap car up above him. Gilbert's going to pull ahead with the lead. LaPlante will move into second. Juan Garcia, the rookie, now into third. The outside line trying to get going again. We've got traffic still up ahead. The 1 of Hudson, the 0 of Gray. This isn't over yet. 1.5 laps remaining here. It's Gilbert, LaPlante, Garcia. Phil Parker still stuck on that outside line. The dominant car of the day may very well have just gotten screwed over by traffic. Gilbert with the lead. Now catching up on the 1. Where's he going to go? He indicates he's going high. Hudson yields the low line. LaPlante's going to go around as well. That's a teammate to the 1. I'm surprised he didn't try and play some defense for him. Garcia and Olson almost with some contact back there as we're on the white flag lap. LaPlante trying to run down Gilbert. Gilbert trying to go around the outside of Garrett Sydnor. Sydnor's going to leave the door open. LaPlante is right there, though. All over the back bumper of the 66. Sydnor goes up. He's going to block Juan Garcia. It's mano-a-mano, Gilbert and LaPlante. Slow car ahead. That's Alex Gray in the 0. LaPlante looks like he wants to go low. Will he make the move here out of turn 4? Which lane's going to move? Here comes LaPlante looking low. Gilbert up high. Who's going to get it? LaPlante's trying to get alongside. Can't quite do it. Elijah Gilbert wins here at Daytona by half a car length. The champ is back. It's a payday for the payday car. Elijah Gilbert, by about half a car length, beats Austin LaPlante to the line. And Elijah Gilbert, the only previous champion of the Pizza Hut X Series, trying to lock himself up a spot in the playoffs and trying to become the first ever two-time Pizza Hut X Series champion. What a battle there at the end. It was really looking like it was going to be Phil Parker who was going to win this race. But it came down to traffic in the closing stages. And Elijah Gilbert, what a battle we had there amongst the top 5, top 6 there with that traffic. Just came down to whichever line moves. And Backmarker Motorsports starts off the season with a W courtesy of the former champ Elijah Gilbert. Gilbert moved up last year to the Hershey's Cup Series for his rookie season, won Rookie of the Year, and then moved back down here to a Pizza Hut X Series, and what a way to make your return. 47 one-thousandths of a second, they're saying, was the gap between himself and LaPlante. Looked like visibly about half a car length. LaPlante so close here in his return to the Pizza Hut X Series of picking up the victory, but a great run for him. Juan Garcia, what a statement for that rookie. He's going to get third. That'll have him leading the rookie points, obviously. Daniel Olson and Phil Parker, a couple of Fitzwater Australia Racing cars there, 4th and 5th. I mean, a heartbreak there for Phil Parker. He obviously had the strongest car of the day, but just could not capitalize at the end. Carson Gum, he's going to finish out the day in the 6th position. Alexander Rowe was one of the 2 strongest cars probably of the day. He ends up finishing in 7th. Brooke Allen brings it home in 8th. 9th place was Charles Jackson. How about Joshua Hyatt? We saw him up near the front early on in this race, and he's going to bring it home in 10th. Carter Friesen, the second highest finishing rookie, gets 11th. 12th was Jake Rogers. Cole Deaver brings it home 13th. Rob Evans, 14th. 15th was Quentin Moore. Rest of your top 20 were K Batson, Andrew Davis, J Sandfer, Andrew Gonzalez, and Heather Gallant. And the last 2 cars to finish on the lead lap were K Langeland, 21st, and Alex Gray in 22nd. The rest of these drivers finished off the lead lap, but at least they finished. Zach Flickinger, Mark Davidson, Wyatt Quayle, Angel Navarro, Nick Guenther, they were all kind of right in the middle of that battle for the win. Matt McIntyre, James Shelley, Sky Commons did make it to pit road, was able to get fuel and get back out there, but he finished a lap down. Nathan Hudson, 31st. And 32nd was Mason Wood, Garrett Sydnor 33rd, and Jessica Miles in 34th. Everybody else finished out of the race after a big wreck that took place on lap number 2. Chloe Ericsson, Diego Yepez, Ryan George, Patrick Curtis, J Jefferson, A Baranauskas, Eli Bright, and Ying Canario. So that is going to do it for our race here at Daytona to start off the season for the Pizza Hut X Series. Elijah Gilbert, the Season 2 Pizza Hut X Series champ, goes to victory lane here for the first time in his career at Daytona. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We have shown you your full finishing results. These are your rookie point standings, and these are your overall point standings heading into our next race. Our next race for the Pizza Hut X Series will be taking place at the newly reconfigured Phoenix International Raceway next week. But we got to cap off this race weekend with the 7th annual running of the Hershey's Cup Series Great American Race Daytona 500. You're not going to want to miss that. That's coming up tomorrow. And until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.